Hey everybody, Trunade here! Oh wait, did Rada make that joke already? Oh, everyone did. Alright. Joseph Rothschild here, aka Mono Bluetron, back again with another episode of 10-Minute Testing. So, we're finally playing FA again, and we've got some good reasons to. After another snooze fest of spoilers last set, Exfo is coming, and with it, it's bringing some cool new toys for the archetype. We've got a combo enabler, a more consistent field spell, and shockingly, a synchro boss monster. That's gonna be hard to make in the level modulating deck. Now, despite how promising these spoilers look, and despite how strong other Yu-Gi tubers have made the archetype seem, it's unfortunately still inconsistent, still without a relatively powerful boss monster, and still vulnerable to basically every removal spell and space storm in the format. Nevertheless, I found an arrangement which I think works quite nicely: FA Magicians. So here's the list, and boy is it a meta mash. As always, I'll give you a little bit of background about the archetype, a little bit of a discussion about what I hope the deck can do, and as always, the card by card. So first, for those of you who don't know, FA is an archetype of formula racers. Now, they operate in a pretty cool, unexplored type of design space where they get different effects based on what level they are. Add to that 3 different field spells, each of which floats on destruction, and the deck was kind of poised for success. Unfortunately, until Exfo, the archetype had 2 major hurdles they just couldn't get over. The first is that the field spells only get their destruction effects if they're destroyed by your card effect, so you're either playing metal foes badly or unable to reliably pop them. The second is that most of the payoff cards were horrendous. There's the Dark Law in Disguise, Hang On Mock, but the rest are like forgettable Ties of the Brethren targets. And that all changed with Exfo, which gave them FA Autonav. It's a tuner who can special summon herself from the hand or graveyard, and a synchro monster, Motorhome, that's almost worth summoning. The deck was still inconsistent, however, since in order to take full advantage of Hang On Mock or make Motorhome, you had to cycle through several different FA spells in one turn, something that was almost impossible, especially if you were playing an enabling engine. Thankfully, there's another card coming out in Exfo that you might have heard of: Electrumite. Now, this bad boy is projected to be used in all manner of degenerate astrograph loops, but we have something much more fun planned for him. Now, since Pendulum's selling point is its consistency, we are playing a sizable Pendulum engine in order to make sure we can always make Electrumite. From there, we use its effect to pop a field spell, provided we find one of the 8 card copies in our deck, then search a Hang On Mock, activate a City Track, and boom, in main and battle phase, we have a Pendulum board plus a Macrocosmos on our side of the field. In best case scenarios, we can use an already drawn Hang On Mock to set up Autonav plays and make Motorhome, something that's also helped by making the link to Electrumite. In medium bad scenarios, we can just play a less explosive Pendulum Magician deck, and in worst case scenarios where we brick into FAs, we can still make Crystron Needlefiber and call it good enough. So with that, let's jump into the card by card. First, we have 1 Astrograph Magician. Not as exciting as most Electrumite builds, but he's basically the best target for his effect. 1 Oath Dragon Magician, 3 Skullcrabat Jokers, 2 Black Fang Magician, 2 Wisdom Eye Magician, 3 Double Iris, 3 Purple Poison, and 3 Harmonizing Magician. This one's very important, since usually we're only summoning 1 or 2 Magicians in this version of the deck instead of 5. Then we have our FA guys, 3 copies of Hang On Mock, and 2 copies of Autonav. For spells, we have 1 copy of 1 for 1, 1 copy of Foolish Burial. These are both for Auto Navigator, 2 Pendulum Calls to unbrick ourselves, plus Autonav is a great pitch target, and 1 Star Platinum Graph. For FA spells, we have 3 copies of Terraforming, 3 City Grand Prix, 1 Off-Road Grand Prix, 1 Circuit Grand Prix, and 2 Test Run. Now, there's no reason to play more of any of the field spells, we're just snagging them with auto anyway. Finally, we have 2 Time Pendulum Graph, because I'm not greedy enough to play 1. In the extra, we have 1 Purple Starving Super Dragon Man, 1 Motorhome, 1 Beals, 1 copy of Omega, 1 Coral Dragon, and 1 Wonder Magician. For Xyz, we have 1 Dark Dragon, 1 Tornado Dragon, 1 Baguska, and for Links, we have a Borreload, 2 Electrumite, 2 Needlefiber, and a Link Karibo. So with that, let's jump into the games. So our first match is up against Ojama Invoked, and it's not often that I get to see an opponent having as much fun on YGO Pro as I am. Our opponent gets to go first, so they'll go ahead and activate the effect of Gofu the Vague Shadow to get Gofu and 2 tokens, and unlike normal when you would see them go into a Decode Talker, they're going to go into 2 copies of Link Spider and an A-Lister the Meltdown Invoker. So I'm intrigued, but not as intrigued as I am when I activate this Terraforming and they chain Ojama Party, sending a copy of Ojama Duo. So we'll get one of the bad field spells, because we intend to destroy it, use the effect of Skullcrabat Joker, set Iris and Wisdom Eye, pop Wisdom Eye for Purple Poison, use Iris's effect, pop itself for a time graph, then we will Pendulum summon 2, which are, of course, immediately Solemn Struck. So this is going to be a little more of a grinder than I expected. We'll use the effect of Purple Poison to destroy both Link monsters, then pass it back. Our opponent draws into a 3rd Ojama, and then we'll use the effect of Ojama Duo to get blue and green. Afterwards, they'll use Ojama Party to get Ojama Matching, go into Ronin Raccoon, and I figure, well, now's about the time I should probably destroy it before he gets a token out. We get back Harmonizing Magician. They'll go ahead and attack our Skullcrabat Joker with an Ojama Blue getting another couple of Ojama cards to hand, setting 3 and passing. So we have 2 pendulums on our side of the board, so I'm feeling pretty good. We'll go into Electrumite. They chain Ojama Duo, targeting our 2 linked zones. How cool is that? I mean, maybe we should be playing a Proxy Dragon and we wouldn't really care, but it's pretty interesting in this specific scenario. We're going to do the combo and destroy the field spell in order to get a Hang on Mock, get ourselves an Astrograph, Foolish Burial, our copy of Autonav, then bring it back so we can go into Coral Dragon with one of these tokens. Afterwards, we're going to start attacking. We'll attack with Electrumite over the Ojama, attack for 25, and win. So our second match is against True Draco splashing the Spellbook engine, and you can see we've drawn pretty poorly. We have a couple of Magicians, but nothing to special summon them with, and we have a copy of FA City Grand Prix, but no way to make Electrumite. Maybe this Star Pendulum Graph will come in handy, but not until second turn. Thankfully, TD doesn't make boards that OTK very well, so we'll go ahead and set this copy of FA City Grand Prix and pass it back. Our opponent's going to start by activating Spellbook of Secrets in order to get themselves a Prophecy, then use its effect to get Knowledge, drawing 2 cards with Knowledge, then setting a diagram, destroying this copy of Heritage to destroy our Grand Prix, so thank you for the mock. Afterwards, they will draw 1 card, then tribute summon themselves an Ignis Heat, set 3, and pass. It's a little frightening, but nothing we can't deal with. We thankfully draw into a copy of iDubbbz. Really important that you have the immense amount of skill necessary to draw the right scale. Our opponent's going to use the effect of Ignis when we activate Star Pendulum Graph. Then we will target our own copy of Blackfang with Iris, getting ourselves another copy of a Magician to hand. We'll get Wisdom Eye so we can tag out for another Iris. Then we will special summon Wisdom Eye and Hang on Mock. We'll go into Electrumite, and there's True King's Return, and there's Skill Drain. So yuck, that's not great. And there's Masterpiece. So things aren't looking particularly good, but thankfully that Masterpiece is vulnerable to traps and monsters effects. So we'll go ahead and after he shuffles 3 cards back into his deck and activates the effect of Diagram after adding a card off of Secrets, we'll go ahead and Pendulum Graph of Space-Time away that Diagram and then use Purple Poison's effect to destroy that copy of Masterpiece. Now hopefully that's all he's got, but unfortunately we can tell it's not. He's going to use Dragonic Diagram to destroy the Skill Drain, use Spellbook Magician of Prophecy to get another copy of Spellbook of Knowledge, draw 2 more cards, and then tribute summon a Majesty Maiden. Now he still has the ability to tribute summon with his Heritage. He will Monarch Stormforth, tribute our monster, and get Masterpiece. So we're actually just dead here. He's going to destroy every card on our side of the board and then attack for 2950 and 2600, which is much more than the 5300 life points we have remaining. So a disappointing game 2, but thankfully it is time for the meta match, a best of 3 against, well, it looks like our deck, actually. We know Pendulum Magicians is going to be a top-tier threat because of Electrumite mostly, but how does it fare against the FA version? Well, we get to go first at least, so that's something. We'll go ahead and summon this Skullcrabat Joker. That's going to get us a copy of Wisdom Eye Magician. We'll set it and the Black Fang, then destroy the Wisdom Eye to get ourselves a copy of Oaf Dragon, and there's Maxi. Oof. Well, we'll give him a couple of draws, mostly because I think Electrumite plus a Hang on Mock that's consistently at 7 is just a little too good to pass up. We'll use the effect of Electrumite to destroy the field spell, then we will activate the other field spell so that in the main phase it's going to be a 9, set this copy of Test Run and pass it back. Our opponent's going to start by normal summoning a Skullcrabat Joker using its effect, then Odd-Eyes Revolution Dragon, getting themselves a copy of Luster Pendulum. So I figured that's a card we probably have to destroy. We'll use Test Run to do just that, and then afterwards they will get a Chronograph Sorcerer, a copy of Perform Pow Pendulum Sorcerer, which they will use to destroy the Violet Poison, who doesn't care where he goes and can target the copy of Hang on Mock but not destroy it, and then of course another Chronograph and another Skullcrabat Joker. So they will attack over all of our monsters. Remember, no Pendulum Summon has happened, and then kind of get stonewalled by this Astrograph Magician, but that doesn't really matter. At this point they can go into any number of things that wins them the game instantly. Right now they're going into all of the Electrum combos, getting Iris Magician, Astrograph Sorcerer, Heavy Metal Foes Electrum's effect all at once, and then afterwards going into a very powerful Link 4 you may have heard of, Skull Det, that draws them 4 cards, after which they shuffle 3, and now their hand is looking pretty good. Another Revolution Dragon gets them another Luster Pendulum for next turn, then they will Pendulum Summon a Harmonizing Magician, the Luster Pendulum, and a couple of guys from their extra deck. The Skull Det is going to give them all attack, they're going to get a Purple Poison, then go into a Needlefiber, who, with the Harmonizing Magician, a Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit on board, an Ignister Prominence, which they will use to destroy my Pendulum cards, and then pass it back. So we've lost basically everything here. We have a copy of Test Run Engraved that we can use to destroy this field spell, but unfortunately it doesn't get to go off because of the Ash Blossom in hand. We'll use a second Test Run. They will chain the effect of Needlefiber to go into Quadranks. That's really bad for me. We're going to use the effect of Hang on Mock and the effect of the field spell to get a couple of cards to our hand and activate Hang on Mock in order to increase its level, but unfortunately it pales in comparison to the Supreme King Clear Wing Dragon, which will wipe our board, after which we can just set the field spell and concede. So pretty painful loss in Game 1, even with a particularly good hand. Unfortunately, our hand in Game 2 is terrible. We have a copy of FA Test Run without any FAs to target, and a card that we always want to be searching, and nothing particularly good to blow up with Electrumite. We do get to go first, so we'll go ahead and activate this copy of Skullcrabat Joker. Unfortunately, after we get the Wisdom Eye and set it with the Black Fang, there comes Maxi. Once again, I've seen this play before. This time, however, I've learned my lesson. I'll set one and pass. Our opponent is going to start by activating the effect of Odd Eyes Revolution Falcon in order to get a Luster Pendulum. Skullcrabat Joker is going to get a Iris Magician that will be destroyed with the Luster Pendulum, getting its effect, and then the Chronograph Sorcerers are coming out. Both of them at once. He'll go ahead and get a copy of Pendulum Graph of Ages, go into Heavy Metal Foes Electrum. Ooh, and where is my Chain Strike? Look at this. It's 4 long. Astrograph at the back end, getting itself. Double Iris adding to hand. Time adding to hand, Harm adding to hand. He'll then go into the Fusion, Supreme King Dragon, Starving Venom to shuffle everything on the board back into the deck, then a Gate 0 and an Iris in order to special summon a Harmonizing Magician and another Iris. Now this doesn't kill me, but it certainly comes close, and there's not a whole lot I have left in my hand to bite back with. They go into a Needlefiber and a Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Afterwards they will pass turn. So we're going to start. We draw into a copy of Purple Poison, so we'll go ahead and set that and a Harmonizing Magician. Of course the Harmonizing is first on the chopping block, but thankfully the last card in our hand is Astrograph Sorcerer, so we will get another one. Unfortunately, that doesn't really do anything, because as soon as we set it and perform a Pendulum Summon, we're going to use the effect of Iris Magician and get Ghost Ogred, get its effect to get Space Time, but unfortunately that's not going to do anything when our opponent can tag out into Clearwing, destroy our board, and kill us. So we're back with the deck. It's fun. What do you want? I mean, it's certainly no less viable than the rest of the FA builds where you cheat out a Motorhome as fast as possible only to lose to a Kaiju or any removal spell at all. But at least with this one, you can lie to yourself and pretend that the matches you win against Rogue are due to your next level deck building prowess and not due to the incredible consistency of Pendulum Magicians. When the deck goes off, it feels great, and mastering the combos certainly feels rewarding, but if you're trying to break the meta, your time is probably better spent elsewhere. So that's that. Now it's just a long wait until they release the other TCG support for Vendred so I can get that YouTube ad money. What's that? They're already out? Oh, well, that's my Wednesday video. If you want to see me play the decks I make on this show on stream, I'm on twitch.tv/monobluetron every Tuesday and Thursday from 10 to midnight Eastern Standard Time, and if you have a certain idea for a deck or archetype you want to see me play on this show, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you Wednesday.